What's up, you guys? Navakan here, bringing you my perspective as to what entertainment is bringing us, and welcome to another new discussion video. We're gonna talk about any topics for over an hour. And today, this is kind of a follow up to Phase 5 of the MCU that I did a few years ago. I'll be talking about Phase 6 of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and I will not
Even
be
though
doing
nothing's
this.
come out yet.
Yep. Well, well, I'll be doing this with three other people, thankfully. And the first one I'll be introducing is RevinEvan. How are you doing today?
Just fine. A little sleepy, I don't know, stressed after exams, but I'm fine.
And the next person I'll be introducing is Brandon. How are you doing today?
I'm happy to be here. I mean, it's been a while since we discussed about the whole MCU as a whole, and I'm excited to go over our thoughts over this.
Yep, of course. And the last person I'll be introducing is Carbs. How are you doing today?
Doing pretty good. I'm great. I'm excited to be back. Great to talk about the next phase of the MCU, and yeah, I'm just excited to be here. Can't wait to see what today's all about.
All right. Now I would start with a Phase 6 TV show, but there's a movie that I thought was gonna be in Phase 6, but it's in Phase 5. Uh yeah, we're gonna start off talking about Deadpool 3. Yeah, like I said, this was supposed to be a Phase 6 movie, but it
I don't know
it
which
got
phase is what
yep
anymore.
yeah it was it got released sooner than we thought, and now it's a Phase 5 movie. And that's why we didn't talk about it last time, because we all thought it was going to be a Phase 6 movie.
He's here.
Hey. And the other last person I'll be introducing is Vince. How are you doing today?
How you doing?
I'm doing okay.
Okay, is that everybody? No
Yep,
other surprise guests or anything?
Yep, that's everyone. All right.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Yep, we're talking about Deadpool 3, a movie that was
To start.
supposed to be in Phase 6, but it's for Phase 5. Um, Deadpool 3 is a movie that so it's pretty much okay. So what everyone knows, it is Deadpool and Wolverine. I'm just gonna call it Deadpool 3 because you kind of need to watch the other two Deadpool movies to understand.
Not exactly. They kind of catch you up in the beginning anyway.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure about that, but yeah.
Well, they go over like the for movie 2 and like some exposition. So it is kind of enough if you haven't seen like all the Deadpool movies.
Yeah, it is possible to just watch that movie by itself and completely understand what was going on. But if you have the context from the other movies, it means a lot more.
Yeah, and speaking of context,
like Deadpool said, "Stuck in box. I'm going to Disneyland."
Yep. Speaking of context from other movies, yeah, not only this movie has loads of reference to Deadpool, it has loads of reference to uh, um, the Fox universe. It's
in
Pretty much
general,
pretty much the whole thing. Pretty much.
Yep. Not just X-Men. Even Fantastic Four got mentioned.
Fantastic Four, Elektra, Blade, if you count it, which I'm pretty sure you don't. That's a new line, but
yep. Yeah, and surprise. Yeah, okay, yeah, we're gonna go full spoilers on Deadpool 3. In case you didn't notice. All right. I mean,
we should probably just say right now we're probably just gonna go full spoilers on all the movies up till now.
Spoilers for all of this stuff here. If you haven't seen any of the stuff we're going to talk about, just click off now, go watch it or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so
we don't care about spoilers.
Huge spoiler warning from this point onward.
Yeah. So
even though the movie's been out for almost a year, but okay.
Yeah. This movie is basically made for 2000s kids. Not only is it because of the references from 2000s Marvel movies, but all the pop culture they made every single pop culture references from the 2000s era. Literally from movie references, the music the licensed music they chose, like the vibe from it, and the comedic tone of it. It is absolutely hilarious. It's kind of feels like a 2000s rom-com in a way. Oh, violent 2000s.
Yeah, you know it is. You could feel the absolute tension they had between those two.
All right, yeah, yeah, this movie is absolutely hilarious. I recommend all of you to watch it. This is probably one of the funniest movies I've seen in a while. I'll pass it on to RevinEvan too, to give him his thoughts on Deadpool 3.
I think you kind of summarized a lot of my thoughts already. It's a really funny movie. It has a lot of stuff that I didn't think they would actually put into a Marvel movie for the most part. The best way I can describe it is Deadpool Wolverine is kind of a love letter to the Fox movies and all the stuff that came before, much like how something like No Way Home was a love letter to the Sony Spider-Man movies. Even though both of those movies, for some reason, have a lot of hatred online, I don't understand it at all.
All right, how about you, Brandon? What are your thoughts on Deadpool 3?
Honestly, this was probably one of the best movies that we've had. Well, this was the start in Phase 5 of the actual good movies in the entire MCU, because like we had like Phase 4, which was like and then the other Phase 5 movies like Ant-Man and the Marvels, like Guardians Volume 3 wasn't bad, but I feel like this was like really the start of like all the movies like going back into like good being good again. And it shows because they brought back a lot of references from really old Marvel movies like Blade, what else, Gambit, Elektra,
Gambit wasn't actually made, though.
Oh yeah, that's right, Gambit. Oh yeah, Gambit was okay. Well, you get my point. Basically, what I'm saying is like a lot of references, a lot of bringing back, and they basically have confirmed Fox as part of the multiverse, which is like the Fox universe as a part of the multiverse, and that's always fun. The Fantastic Four as well, from the from when Chris Evans played Johnny Storm, that Fantastic Four. But yeah, this is just a lot of fun. It fits in with Deadpool, and it's like the next nature to his growth, because we get also this whole how he's doing mental health well being. It really helps him shape his character now that he's in the MCU.
All right, now I'll pass it off to Carbs. What are your thoughts on Deadpool 3?
Honestly, I personally think this is I think probably the better of the three movies itself. Then again, I mean, it's mostly, the reason why is because of all the references and the characters that are actually in the film. The comedy itself is pretty good too. I mean, the first two movies were great, great. I'm not saying they're not. I understand that I personally like the third one better. I'm not even gonna lie to you. When they revealed the characters, freaking Elektra, Blade, and then freaking what's his Gambit? I was like, no. In theaters. I was like, oh my god! I was like excited because the one that I never thought I would see happen, because, or actually there were two that I did not see happen at all, was Blade and Gambit. Especially,
yeah, that one
Gambit,
definitely got the most hype.
Yeah, especially Gambit. Blade, I feel like, okay, so honestly, I feel like Blade had the most cheer because of the fact that
was definitely my favorite cameo.
No one assumed that he was
Blade,
coming back. That Wesley Snipes was coming back to be the character. Sure, I mean, Gambit was also really hyped because, oh wow, Channing Tatum being Gambit, a character who's been wanting to play for a while now, actually happened. But then a lot of people didn't actually know. Some people didn't know what was happening, with the character itself.
He's actually
oh wow, Channing Tatum, Gambit, that's cool. But the one that everyone was like, no way, was when Wesley Snipes returned as Blade. That one was, But yeah. Other than that, the movie itself is nice. It's cool. It's also I love how it puts in aspects of the actual MCU with Loki and the TVA. It also opens up another possibility of, well, what else can be in the void, or the ending of the movie with now that Logan and Deadpool are now in the MCU. So
they technically aren't, though.
Oh, they aren't. Okay.
No, at the end of the movie, they don't go back to Wade's universe, 1005. They don't go back to the MCU.
Yeah, they're not in the MCU. They're in their own world.
Or at least not yet. Well, hopefully we'll see them maybe in Doomsday, or most likely in Secret Invasion.
But Secret Wars. We don't talk about Secret Invasion here.
Secret Wars. Gosh, Secret Invasion. Don't even. Oh gosh, don't even remind me of that.
Let's not.
But yeah, really great movie. Deadpool and Wolverine, probably one of the best ones post Endgame. and would recommend.
And you, Vince?
All right. Personally, this is honestly like one of the better MC movies post Endgame. All right. The fact that they brought back Blade, Elektra, heck, even Channing Tatum. Even before this, I heard. I don't know if this is true, but they were planning to make a gaming movie before this.
Yes.
Channing Tatum, but
No, they did.
yeah, but apparently it was canceled. Apparently, but then I thought and honestly, seeing all the callbacks and seeing Chris Evans as Firestorm was a surprise.
Johnny Storm.
Yeah, Johnny Storm, yeah, was a surprise because given how bad the movie was previously, but
They weren't bad. It's just they didn't really hit that hard.
yeah,
I
and
mean, it's just bad.
Galactus has a cloud, but given that like all the callbacks with war breaks fits the characters very well, and honestly a pleasant surprise for me. So yeah.
Yeah. For me, what really sold the movie for me was the dance intro to N6 Bye Bye Bye. I was like,
Yeah.
what? I'm sorry.
I just saw. No, the instant I saw it, it's like, okay, tone set.
Okay, I was like, okay, I'm in for a ride. This
is definitely the best intro out of any of those movies.
Yeah, honestly I didn't think any MCU intro was gonna top Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1, but Deadpool 3 did that.
I mean, it's Deadpool. You have to expect that, like, the whole music choreography coming in for the intro.
Yeah.
And honestly,
That's true. That's true. That's true.
Honestly, the biggest part for me was that it actually makes sense for him to do all of this stuff. If you pay attention to how the character acts throughout the other two movies.
Honestly, yeah, you're right.
I mean, this is the guy who tried to kill someone via fucking Zamboni. I totally believe he would do this.
Maybe. Well, let's move on to Deadpool 3. Let's talk about the movie that just came out right now, The Thunderbolts. Look.
So we're skipping
Brave New World. Captain America: Brave New World.
I forgot about New World Order. I'm not
gonna lie. You didn't use the right title.
Captain America: Brave New World.
I refuse.
Yeah, true.
Was it that forgettable to you?
I mean, it's my least favorite Captain America movie. So that I'll give you that much.
Yeah, we still got to talk about it because it does hold a little significance to what's going to happen in Phase 6.
Yeah.
What that movie is, well.
All right. Let's talk about New World Order then. So it's okay, I guess. It's the worst Captain America movie, if you ask me. But
I wouldn't say that, but okay.
I feel comfortable saying that, honestly. Honestly, like,
really tread carefully here because again, this isn't like Chris Evans Captain America. This is Anthony Mackie Captain America, and we could be canceled if you say the wrong thing. So just like tread carefully.
I've seen some absolutely horrid things said about this.
Yeah, honestly, like, I do love that they include. I do love that they included some of the stuff for the Incredible Hulk. This more feels like a sequel to the Incredible Hulk more than it is a Captain America movie, which
that is true though. That is
true. Like an Incredible Hulk sequel in a Captain America suit.
That might piss people off a little, but for me, as someone who's a big fan of Banner, that I would easily take anything because I know that Universal will not allow a follow-up to the Incredible Hulk. I'll take anything at this point.
Honestly, I'm just surprised Banner himself didn't actually show up in the movie.
Yeah, another big complaint
like,
there.
Why wasn't he like the Deuteragus in this instead of just throwing in another Falcon?
Yeah.
I'm
glad they're fixing like a plot thread from literal Phase 1, but like
not even fixing it, just addressing. Oh yeah, something that happened 18 years ago. We're finally going to address it now.
Yeah,
it's really late.
Yeah, I do like the action sequences. Some of the characters did nothing for me. I the new that the Black Widow character, apparently her superhero code name is Sabra. She did nothing for me, but apparently a lot of her scenes were cut. Giancarlo Esposito's character did absolutely nothing for me, which is a huge crime because he is a world class actor. We all know how
Yeah,
world we know how great of an actor Giancarlo Esposito is. So I
and
mean,
even
it's
then, the scenes he had were dope. I just wish there was more of him in the movie.
yeah, and
Yeah.
apparently Giancarlo Esposito's character, Sidewinder, is a member of the Serpent Society. We were
Yeah, this is their
supposed
first
to,
appearance in the MCU now, so
yeah, we were supposed to have more members of the Serpent Society, but they got cut. Yeah, this movie went through production hell. You can tell
I
too
mean,
because in the final sequences of the movie, you could tell that the visuals were not finished. Uh,
Yep.
yeah, honestly,
I
yeah,
wouldn't
it's
say
a
unfinished, just a little bit wonky, which is kind of
yeah,
expected with some of these movies.
yeah,
The cherry blossom scene.
yeah, the cherry blossom scene. Oof, yeah,
Oh
I
gosh,
even I noticed it. I'm not one to
bro,
notice that.
my
Even I like noticed it.
my
yeah,
little
this
brothers and
wasn't
my
really the best in
siblings
terms of
looked at me
animation.
when that scene came out.
Yeah,
Oh gosh, but
yeah,
we can
I
all
don't.
agree that the best part of that movie was the last 20 minutes.
Yeah, honestly, yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
Red Hulk took the cake, honestly.
Yeah, Red Hulk carried. Like that's the only
Honestly,
reason why I saw that movie.
if they didn't actually spoil it in the marketing, kept it as a twist at the end of the movie, I feel like people will be talking about it a lot more.
The thing, yeah,
Oh,
I guess that makes
I feel like they wanted to save that. I feel like they wanted to save that as sport as a plot twist, but like since it was projected to flop, since the movie was projected to flop, they were like, you know what,
Like, we
fuck
gotta
it,
have
just put
something to reel people in.
yeah,
Angry Red Man.
yep,
mm.
yeah, pretty much. So
I'm not,
it's it's an
I'm,
okay movie, but you cannot compare this movie to Civil War nor to Winter Soldier. You literally cannot.
oh yeah.
Absolutely
Yeah, it's not a
fucking not.
bad
Yeah, no,
movie. It's just it's
100%.
in a lineage of some films that are at the absolute peak of what the MCU can do. So it's
Yeah,
set a very high standard.
yeah. All right, I'll pass it off to RevinEvan.
I mean, I was kind of giving my thoughts right there, which is kind of conjoining with all my other points here. So
Yeah, all right, Brandon.
Yeah, again, like not really the best Captain America movie, but it definitely was. I think we can all agree it's definitely a lot better than the early Phase 5 movies. Like, like heck, I can argue it's definitely better than Ant Man the Wasp Quantumania.
Yes,
Oh
I
yeah.
Um,
actually agree to that.
and I'm someone who said
yeah,
that Quantum Mania is actually kind of decent, but okay.
Yeah, okay, yeah, but yeah, I can see that, but like again, it was pretty bad. It was honestly nowadays when you think about it, it's just pretty bad overall. And I am glad while they also introduced Red Hulk and everything that they did do setup for the Thunderbolts as well, the Thunderbolts movie, and like how there's no Avengers, Sam is going to
What, by
be
Bucky
with
being there
the
for
whole.
approximately one scene?
It's basically yeah, Bucky. Well, yeah, Bucky. Well, come on, it's Bucky. And
Well,
the whole
yeah, you
fact
can.
that the leader knows about the multiverse and that they're now that Sam
Okay,
is
how?
somewhat
Okay,
aware
how does
of
he
it,
know
they're
that
having a
though?
comparing. In the post,
Okay,
I think
how
it was
about
like
we just
I
talk
was like
about the
mid
leader in
credits or
general?
post credits scene. Sam visits the leader, and leader like knows
Yeah.
about the multiverse and tells Sam about it.
Literally, yeah. Literally, yeah.
Okay, I know the scene. I'm just wondering how exactly that worked.
Well, they were like the leader was in the raft, he was in prison, and then Sam came to visit because like leader on it, like because they made a bet right for the whole Red Hulk thing. You remember?
Yep.
No, I remember that. I'm just wondering how a guy whose main gimmick is, well, testing probabilities and figure out like the most probable thing to happen. How does he know about the multiverse now?
I mean, he's been. Let's let he has like he had like all those TVs in his like his lab. I mean, he probably figured it out two by two just from watching everything the past 18 years.
Uh, I'm not sure if I buy that. I'm being real with you.
I don't either.
It's the leader. He's just super smart. That's the excuse. That's the whole Marvel explanation in both comics and the movie. I'm just gonna go with that.
All right. Anything else,
Yeah.
Brandon? All right, Carbs. What are your thoughts on New World Order?
All right. So, bro, you really got to learn the title. It's Brave New World.
I do not like that title. New World Order is the better title.
Well. But anyways, yeah, honestly, Brave New World was, as I expected. I thought it was gonna be a little bit more memorable, but if I'm being completely honest with you, I don't really care for Isaiah Bradley and the new Falcon. I'm sorry, that's just me though, because they're trying to make Isaiah a really important character, at least to the new like phases of the MCU. But I feel like it's just a more important character to Sam and not really the audience, because especially if this new character that's being shown in the movies wasn't first introduced in the films, but was introduced in the series. And some, viewers of the MCU haven't seen any of the series. For example, my dad, when he saw the film, he was like, "Who is that?" And I was like, "Oh, he's just some guy from the series." And I was like, "Oh, okay." Because my dad learned to understand that there's some things in the new movies that he might like get because he didn't watch any of the series. But I'm just glad I watched it so I can like briefly explain who that character is and why he's quote unquote important now. But the new Falcon, I'm not even gonna lie to you. He's not that memorable. I mean, they obviously needed someone to replace Falcon in the Avengers lineup, because this Falcon is now Captain America. So I'm guessing this new Falcon is going to take his mantle, which is kind of weird because he was like, the one thing I really don't believe is that out of every Avenger, he really wanted to be the Falcon. That to me is not like that. That sounds unrealistic. But I the honestly, like I said before, the best part of the movie is with the last 25 minutes with the Red Hulk, and honestly, it was kind of weird how they were like teasing him to like, is he gonna come out or is he not? Like in some of the scenes of the film, when like we all knew he was eventually gonna come out based off of the trailers. Which honestly, that idea of how they presumed that the film wasn't gonna make a good like box office, so they started marketing it with the Red Hulk. So I'm like, okay, there goes that surprise. But it's kind of insane how they brought the Red Hulk, the leader, and even Betty. They brought them back, but this is a Captain America movie and not a Hulk movie.
Yeah.
It's insane. But it's also insane how you were saying that there were supposed to be more members of the Serpent Society, especially with that one actor, Giancarlo, because he looked like in the trailers. I was like, oh wow, he looks like he's gonna be like a cool new like villain for like Captain America. But then Red Hulk comes at the end of the trailer. We're like, oh, okay, he's gonna be the real villain. When in reality, it's like, okay, who can they choose? Who's the real bad guy? Is it one of the Serpent Society agents? Is it the leader? Is it the Red Hulk? Like who I honestly, if they would have made Captain America Brave New World with just the Serpent Society like people, sure the movie wouldn't have done as well. But honestly, if they really wanted to make a movie that would do well, they just should have done another Hulk movie and then just brought back Banner and all the villains and then just do that part in with the Hulk character. Because if you really think about it, the first like fourth or even half of the film is about like the Serpent Society villain with Giancarlo, and then the second half is like leading more towards the leader and Ross. And I'm like, bro, they could have just made two movies out of this. Like they could have done greatness. And honestly, I feel like most of the audience would have loved to have another Hulk movie, because it's like, sure, the Hulk right now is, Professor Hulk, which no one likes. But having another Hulk movie would have been like, amazing, because we get another Hulk movie after what, like almost 20 years? And honestly, that to me is like, dang, they just really don't know what to do with those characters. And if I'm being completely honest with you, the last 25 minutes being the most enjoyable was enjoyable because of the fact that we got to see, a rampaging Hulk for once after like what felt like forever ago. And it honestly was like a breath of fresh air. It was like, oh wow, so like, look, this is like a rampaging Hulk back in the MCU. Haven't seen one of those in forever. And yeah, honestly, just this movie could have been better, but it also could have been worse, and it also could have been two separate movies with the Hulk movie being about those characters and. But and fun fact, I don't know if any of you guys know this, and this is gonna blow your mind. So you know how in the post-credit scene, Sam talks to the leader, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
So in that post-credit scene, the leader is like, "They're coming," and like, "Are you prepared for that?" And then Sam's just like, it cuts, right?
Who?
Everyone's like, "So who is the leader talking about?" Because like, how does he know the multiverse? You know who the leader was referencing?
I did some
You guys are
research
never
and
gonna
found
get
out.
Doom?
He was referencing the Illuminati.
You mean the ones that died?
Oh yeah, no. I get the reference. I get the
Illuminati.
reference.
I'm sorry. How?
That makes even less sense now.
Yeah, exactly.
It doesn't really
That's the one part
work.
I don't understand. That's exactly what the director said. That the leader was apparently talking about the Illuminati of like those guys like coming, like they're coming. I was like, oh, is he talking about
Does he mean
maybe this was
wait.
like a scrap idea of like the Kangs coming, right? I was like, that would kind of make sense.
I
Or
hate
maybe
the
it's like
post-credit scene even more now.
Doomsday coming, Doctor Doom, or maybe even the
Unless
Fantastic Four, or the X-Men from another universe. But nope, apparently the director said he was referencing the Illuminati.
I hate
No,
the
Okay.
The ones that
Now-
died.
What
are we sure this is the Illuminati from Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness Illuminati
Wasn't that-
or different Illuminati?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
I'm not
he
sure what
didn't
exactly meant.
he didn't specify which like Illuminati. So maybe the Illuminati from the Doctor Strange movie just so happened to be from like a different Illuminati team from different multiverses.
Or hear me out. Maybe he could actually be talking about the Illuminati group being formed in the main continuity that we don't know about yet.
That's not gonna happen. Tony's dead.
I don't know. That's just not.
That's
I
true.
don't know.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
just
true.
kinda thinking
Tony
about
is
that.
dead though.
That's
Yeah.
not gonna happen. There's no
Maybe
Iron Man.
It's not
All
going
I
to be
know
the
is
exact
that
same lineup. You're just saying,
Xavier-
oh, there's a group called the Illuminati. We don't know who's on the team in the main timeline yet. I don't know.
It's
I'm just
still-
trying to think
it's-
about this.
You still need Tony, Xavier. They're like the main.
Tony
You're
wasn't in
talking
the one
just
we saw in
Illuminati
Multiverse
from,
of
like,
Madness,
comics.
so
The main timeline, and you need an Iron Man. You need a Professor Xavier, no matter what.
in Multiverse of
Okay.
Madness, they didn't have an Iron Man.
Well, yeah, but
Here,
they
listen
need
to
an
this.
Xavier. They need Xavier. They
Hey,
don't
guys.
have one in the main timeline.
Nah. Hey guys, listen to this. So
You do.
according to this article, in Captain America: Brave New World's post-credit scene, Sam, when the leader refers to other worlds, which has led to speculation that he might be hinting at the Illuminati, a secret group of powerful individuals in Marvel Comics. The Illuminati were originally part of the film's script, but were later removed, according to director Julius Ona. The post-credit scene's ambiguity has left room for interpretation, with some theorizing that the leader's comments could be a setup for the Illuminati's eventual appearance in the MCU. Wait a minute. And I'm like, wait, really? That doesn't really make that much sense.
Okay, that makes
And
even
we all
less sense
saw that
now,
he
and I'm
died.
glad they cut it.
Makes less sense. Like we only have like a few of them. Like there's the Inhumans. There's There's Black
Yeah.
Bolt. And like Tony's dead. Tony's dead, so he can't be in it. There's no Xavier. There's no Reed Richards. There's
I mean, we don't know if there's an
Beast.
Xavier or Reed Richards in the MCU right now. I mean, seeing as there are
Oh, no.
variants in their universe, that could basically mean, oh, there are ones in the MCU like who proper. We just haven't met them yet.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying there's variants, but we're not like in the MCU proper time. There's none of that. No, there's none of that. That's what I'm trying.
Yeah.
That's the point I'm trying to make. Because this is assuming that we're going to be talking about the Illuminati from the main MCU timeline, based on what the leader is saying.
I have to agree with Ben at this point. Yeah. I have to agree with Ben.
It's not going to be. That's not going to happen.
I mean, if you want to use the
Yeah.
comic roster for this, as the one in Multiverse of Madness didn't have Namor, but he's in the MCU proper, so and he was on the team in the comics, so who knows?
But yeah, again though, but the whole Multiverse of Madness Illuminati that takes place not in main MCU time. MCU, that's a different world in the multiverse. That's why it actually.
Yeah,
has
and it
the
doesn't really
excuse.
matter because they all immediately got jobbed by Wanda.
Exactly. That's why they have the excuse.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's why the director in the end was like, we just left it for speculation.
Yeah, because if they made that clear, it wouldn't make sense because you all watched them die.
Also,
Yeah.
you know, I'm gonna rant on this right now because I have another complaint actually about
Please
this
go
whole
ahead. We
movie.
want to have more
Just
engagement.
realized because the entire reason the Serpent Society was even in this movie was because of the stupid Eternals movie. Literally,
Yeah.
Celestial Island. I hated that bit. Literally, Eternals was like one of the worst movies I've ever I saw in Phase 4, and literally they bring it back literally just because it's adamantium from Celestial from the
And because people are constantly
Celestial
questioning when
Island.
they're going to address the
Thing
giant
ever.
creature sticking out of the earth.
Exactly, it's the
People have been
stupidest
asking
thing
about
ever.
that for the
Literally.
past 5 or so years, so they finally decided to address it in this.
Exactly. Literally, what's the point of bringing this in? You might as well.
Look, I know you want to forget that the Eternals happened, but I'm pretty sure everyone
randomly
else
bring
who
it back
watched a lot of these movies are going to keep asking about it until they
would
bring
think
it
at
up,
least
and they
something
brought it
would
up.
reference it. Yeah, you think someone would bring up the Eternals, but in this movie, but no, it's literally just Serpent Society, and then the leader, and then Red Hulk. It's like, why?
To be fair, do
Stupidest
you
thing
remember
ever.
any of the Eternals as characters, or do you remember the thing that happened at the end?
I remember enough about the Eternals that I could rant about this.
Wow, and it's all
Literally,
Okay,
I refuse to say any more though. I refuse to say any more.
and it's all because Julius Ona had to say that the leader was talking about the Illuminati. But before we move on to talk about before we move on to the Thunderbolts, let's hear what Vince has to say about Captain America 4.
All right, going off of Chris Evans' Captain America is hard to do. I am disappointed that I don't feel connected with Anthony Mackie's Captain America. Um, if this movie would have been better if only they they kept Red Hulk in the movie rather than the trailers and the marketing. This similar to what people say here. It is this feels more like a Hulk movie than an actual Captain America movie. It's like by no name means it's not bad. It's just not for me. Yeah, that's all I have to say about it.
Yeah, let's move on from New World Order. Let's talk about the Thunderbolts. And
You will never get that title right, will you?
It's no.
He just refused. Just accept it. We're just accept it and move on. He's just not gonna. He's just not gonna say it. Just accept it.
Yeah, let's move on to an actual great movie, The Thunderbolts. This is my surprise movie of the year. I was
So
expecting
far.
this to be another MCU thriller movie, but no, this movie is a lot deeper than I originally thought it was gonna be. So this movie is basically a mental health aware. This is a mental health deconstruction movie, and I think it does it very well. Um, so yeah, I'm gonna go full spoilers on this. Uh, so
Okay, so yeah,
so
big spoiler warning. If you haven't seen it yet and you're still watching, just spoiler it from here on in.
I
five,
mean, Marvel already kind of spoiled the
four,
biggest reveal at the end of the
3,
movie just after a week after
2,
it released, so
1. Let's go. Yeah. So yeah, my yeah. So the biggest characters in the movie for me are Yelena and the Sentry. Yeah,
you mean Bob.
those two are my main highlights of the movie. Yeah, they and along with the Red Guardian too because of their family so-called family dynamic. But yeah, they I really love the I really love the how much how much they tackled their mental health, especially the Sentry, who's not in the whose mind is not in the right place. Yeah, I love that I love the way that I love the way that the Sentry defeated the Void. It is absolutely heartbreaking. Almost got me to tears. Honestly, yeah, it was a very touching. It was a very touching movie and a lot more personal than I thought it was going to be. So yeah, I really thought great movie. Honestly, I'll pass it up to RevinEvan.
Okay, so the best way I can describe this is Imagine an hour and a half long ad for BetterHelp, the movie.
Yeah.
Okay, in all seriousness, no, this was actually a pretty good one for me. I mean, I really like how a lot of the characters were handled. Yelena and Bob, really, really well done. John Walker, I surprisingly got to understand and like him a lot more, especially after what we saw in Falcon Winter Soldier. Red Guardian, hilarious. As Ghost, I didn't really get that much from her because, I don't know, they didn't really utilize her that well, at least to me. And we don't really have to talk about Taskmaster because
Yeah, pretty much.
But yeah, a lot of the characters were really well handled. The action scenes were pretty good. It spoke a lot about, well, mental health and depression, which really hit me hard, as seeing as someone who has been struggling with that a lot. And I don't know. I think I'll just interject when we're all giving our thoughts here, to give my whole what I thought of this. I just think good movie.
Wait, all right, Vince, have you seen the Thunderbolts? If so, what are your thoughts?
I have, yes.
Okay.
Everyone's
Wow.
all has, so we are free to spoil whatever we want.
Okay, yeah, we could, yeah, all right, we could spoil it. All right, Brandon, yeah, I'll pass it off to you on the Thunderbolts.
Okay, yeah, this was again like a whole movie about mental health, and honestly, I think they did this really well given the whole situation with everyone, because everyone has the issues. Like Yelena is still dealing with the fallout from losing Natasha, as well as the Red Guardian. Ghost is dealing with fallout from her actions during Ant-Man and the Wasp. The U.S. Agent is dealing with his actions from Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Taskmaster is dealing with redemption, though she gets killed really, really quickly, which honestly is kind of a
Taskmaster
buzzkill.
basically wasn't a character, so move on.
Well, yeah, it's just it's Taskmaster though. It was honestly it was a bad decision to bring Taskmaster into like the Black Widow movie in the first place. It was just a bad decision.
That's
honestly.
a whole nother.
Yeah. That's a whole other thing. So we're gonna sidebar it. We're gonna sidebar that. Yeah, I did like how they basically brought all these people together over their shared like issue of like they've gone through a lot together and they've done a lot of bad things, but they all come together like for like stop a common threat to all of them. And I do like that about them because it shows that they now have like a kind of support group for mental health. It's a strong message. Like when you're dealing with mental health issues, being around people that have similar issues to you or people that you know help you. Like it's a good support group with that. I gotta say though, I wasn't expecting the Sentry when the trailers started coming out because I remember way back then, like when the MCU was like starting. Like I remember they said like I think the directors at the time said that like they were not going to be doing the Sentry because he'd just be too OP for the MCU.
No one's too
Speaking
OP
of
for
that,
this, man.
Yeah, he's basically Superman. He's the Superman basically.
Well,
in the
one of
MCU.
them.
Well, yeah. But what the point is, I'm saying is they handled him very well, despite all of that. I feel like they handled Bob Reynolds very well with this. How he's dealing with his own issues, that he's just trying to feel like he matters, and he finds a home with like all the Thunderbolts. Which I gotta say, this is a very very big spoiler, even though it's probably already seen in marketing if you haven't seen it already.
It was.
I was caught off guard when they announced the Thunderbolts are announced as the new Avengers. That's right, they are the new Avengers. Honestly, just was not expecting that. Was a complete 180. It was like, wait, what?
So technically an Avengers movie.
Yeah, technically it's an Avengers movie when you say that. You could say like it's an Avengers movie, but wasn't expecting that. And I wasn't expecting that whole post-credit scene with
Which one? There's two of them.
coming in. Excelsior's comes in. That was completely unexpected, though it does bring a sense of foreboding for what happens in Fantastic Four for First Steps.
All right, carbs.
Yeah, so I will say that Thunderbolts is one of the better movies from Phase 5. However, the one thing that kind of bothered me was how, like, some of the characters that were in there were kind of underused. Specifically, Ghost and Taskmaster. I mean, I'm kind of glad that they changed Taskmaster a bit, especially with how everyone agreed on how Taskmaster was probably the worst. That was like the worst iteration of Taskmaster ever. But I'm glad that they killed off that character so that they can actually, introduce the real Taskmaster, just like how they did with the Mandarin in Iron Man 3.
Yeah, but I think they're pulling the Mandarin with that.
Yeah, which honestly is like the best thing to do, especially if you want to fix something like that mistake. But back to the movie. The movie was actually very enjoyable. I will say my favorite characters were the Red Guardian, Bob, and Yelena. Bucky was okay, but it's Bucky, so you get what you get. I will say this: I am excited for future MCU projects because of the post-credit scene. But then again, honestly, I was like, I was getting hyped because it's been a while since I really felt something like with the MCU post-credit scenes, because some of them have been really disappointing. And then there are others that are actually like, ooh, let's see, I can't wait for the next project. This was one of those movies where it actually got me excited for the future of the MCU, especially with what the post-credit scene was. And honestly, I was surprised because while I was reading the credits, I saw in the music section, I saw the theme for Fantastic Four First Steps. And I'm like, wait, what did I miss that?
Yeah, so they basically just spoiled it right there.
They did, and I was like, no freaking way. And then when they were saying that there's like a spaceship with interdimensional travel in space, I was like, no freaking way. And then the ship turned, and the theme was starting to play, and it was the four, and I was like, no way. And I was so excited. But
so that pretty much confirms that. Oh, keep going.
Oh, so, yeah, but what you're trying to say is that it confirms that the ending of the Fantastic Four movie, something happened. Sure, we may not know like what exactly happened.
Probably their worlds are going to be destroyed, and they're going to flee the MCU to survive.
Right, or it could be that Doctor Doom just happened to go to their universe and is like threatening them, so they go to another multiverse to seek help. And I'm like, maybe that could be something. But honestly, it just like the lineup for the new for the quote unquote new Avengers is pretty good. Although it does bring up like the fact that no one there can fly except for Sentry, and they can't even use Sentry because, like Bob said, that he can't use his power, or else the other guy might show up. And
yeah, he has three personalities. There's Bob, the Sentry, and then the Void. And you can't use the Sentry without the Void showing up again.
So I'm like, hopefully they might. I feel like they're going to use Sentry as like a last resort type of like weapon against Doomsday or against Doctor Doom, just to like show how powerful he actually is. And that'd be awesome because if they use Sentry, but then it turns out like they have to also face Sentry now, or Doctor Doom just like destroys Sentry to show how powerful he actually is. I'm like, okay, this guy is no joke. It's also I also find it hilarious how I had to trick my dad into saying that, oh yeah, this is the new Avengers movie. He was like, no way, really? And he saw it and he was like, I thought you said this was the new Avengers. And then the scene where like they were announced as the new Avengers comes in, he was like, oh. And he was like, these aren't the Avengers. And I was like, yeah, these aren't my Avengers. But yeah, he's excited for Doomsday as well because he's like, finally an Avengers movie. But for some reason, he's still stuck on Thanos being the villain. And I'm like, dude, Thanos died in
We watched him die 2 separate times.
Why is it one movie?
We also saw his corpse in another movie.
Yeah, and it was Multiverse of Madness.
We just saw him stabbed with his own glaive.
Yep.
Yeah. But yeah, the movie was great. Honestly, I would rank it a high, like a 7.8 out of 10. At least that's my opinion.
I think it's a good 8 out of 10.
Yeah, I would rate it 8 out of 10 as well. All right, Vince.
Yeah.
Thoughts on the Thunderbolts?
All right. Kind of surprised this was a kind of like I said, a mental health movie, type of movie. Um, Personal highlight for me was definitely Jordan Walker going off what he did in Falcon and Winter Soldier. Just kind of surprised, kind of shifted my view on him, and getting a yeah, kind of similar to what Carlos said. The post credit scene though got me excited for the rest of the movies coming up, especially for Fantastic Four. Um, like this is kind of yeah, kind of like a ragtag team type of thing, kind of like that, and just really like yeah, just excited for this movie again. This movie was pretty good, pleasant surprise. So yeah.
All right. Now, now that Phase 5 is over, now let's talk about Phase 6. But first, let's talk. But first, let's talk about the TV shows of Phase 6, starting with Eyes
Phase
of
5, you mean?
Wakanda. Yep, the Eyes of Wakanda. So,
What's that supposed to be?
yeah. So, the Eyes of Wakanda is I don't know, I don't think not much is known about the Eyes of Wakanda. Honestly, I'm not sure if this is supposed to be set before the first Black Panther movie, or maybe it's set after Wakanda Forever. But this is a new animated series from Marvel. Uh, I do feel that they explored a lot of Wakanda a lot, quite a bit in Wakanda Forever. It's still that place looks beautiful, honestly. And if they want to explore more on these animated series, hey, I'm all for it. Honestly, the more the merrier. Honestly, I just hope that it's act it's a. I just hope this is. I just hope it consistently entertains me. That's all I want. All right, I'll pass it on to Brandon.
Yeah, I mean, for animation, I'm again not exactly too sure when this happens, but I am looking forward to the Eyes of Wakanda mainly because it's another look into Wakanda as a whole, like society itself. What like how it ties into MCU itself as a whole, and what new views we can see from it, like with everything that's happened with Wakanda now.
All right, Revan Evan.
Okay, so I had no idea that this show is even supposed to be a thing, and from looking up, it looks like it's supposed to explore the history of Wakanda and its other protectors, who are tasked with retrieving vibranium artifacts from Wakanda's enemies throughout history. So it's like an animated anthology show or something, like delving into the legacy of the Black Panther mantle. That sounds really interesting.
That that probably that probably that probably would.
So yeah, it's not supposed to take place after Wakanda Forever. It's supposed to be like a prequel show.
That would make a lot of sense. All right, Carbs.
So I don't really know much about Eyes of Wakanda. I mean, it would be pretty cool to venture into the lore of like what actually goes on in that country. Although I will say it will be a little bit difficult to like concentrate or not concentrate, but it's more like focus on Wakanda without the actual Black Panther. Although I'm pretty sure the Black Panther would be in there. It just
No, he is. It's just not the one we're most familiar with being whether
Yeah.
T'Challa or Shuri. They're not going to be in the show because it takes place in the past.
Gotcha. But I don't know. I might be excited for it. It might be a cool, series just to get a bit of information on like, Wakanda and why we should love that country, what makes that country so special, other than the fact that it has alien like plants and technology and futuristic technology. But it would be pretty cool if we got like a little tease of what could happen maybe in one of the upcoming MCU projects for me, or maybe even Black Panther 3. You never know.
All right, Vince.
All right, I would say about this, even though there's not much known about it, I would say I am optimistic about this show. Given I'm sure it's going to be lore heavy. I'm sure about that. given it's a prequel show, I'm sure it's gonna be lore heavy. About Wakanda and like I'm just kind of optimistic about the show. So yeah.
All right, let's move on to another animated series, one that we actually know more info about: Marvel Zombies. So, so we do know that Marvel Zombies had an episode in What If, and we do know that this is we do know that there's an actual comic line for Marvel Zombies. And this is
Pretty sure Kirkman was involved.
yeah, and we also know this is supposed to be an R-rated show. So
As it should be.
yeah, and so I'm going to assume this is going to be this is going to be a horror project instead of being an action-based project. So I'm curious to see how this will go. I'll pass this off to RevinEvan.
I'm more just trying to bounce off of what everyone else is saying with a lot of this stuff, because that's kind of how I can articulate my thoughts on this, because I'm just kind of realizing some of these shows are happening as these are being announced right now, like in this chat, and I'm wondering, wait, Marvel Zombies, really? Is this actually going to be a show? And if so, is Robert Kirkman involved?
I can actually check that real quick.
All right, Pat. All right.
I mean, I know he was involved with the comics, so I feel like with the show it should be a shoo-in. But also, more MCU horror stuff, I'm down for that. I mean, you've seen the Werewolf by Night whole thing? That was great.
Yep. Yeah, Werewolf by Night is pretty good. All right, Brandon.
Yeah, real quick, Evan. I'm not seeing Robert Kirkman being involved so far in Marvel Zombies. Real quick before I actually discuss this.
We'll see.
I mean, well, yeah, again, we'll see. I do hope so, and I am glad we're taking another look into the whole Marvel Zombies from What If, because we did leave on a pretty interesting side note. From the
Zombie Thanos with all the stones.
I know, that's gonna be so awesome to see.
I know.
There's a lot that can go on. Like, it's post world where just zombies everywhere. How do the heroes respond to the Infinity Crisis? I'm excited to see that, and I'm also excited to see like if they're gonna stay true to like the storylines from the comics, or they're gonna do an original story as well based on it, mixed from the MCU and both comics. Yeah,
it'll probably be the original one.
Yeah, most likely an original. But if they do adapt stuff from the story from the comics, I am completely okay with that as well.
All right, Carbs.
Marvel Zombies. Honestly, the one of my favorite episodes from the What If series was the Zombies episode. So hearing that they were going to make a full series based on that, I was like, "Yo, sign me up." Although I will say that seeing how it most likely won't be connecting with the MC, like the mainline MCU, which makes sense. Like it's a different multiverse. That means they can like be as creative as they want to be with it. So honestly, if they choose to do that and don't hold back on like creative liberties, then this show could be like a good like standalone show, just like how X-Men 97 was a great show because they didn't like just try to make it a continuation of, you know, what happened in like the 90s. Sure,
They technically
X-Men
did.
97 in it. And it does like continue the story or further it more. But I mean, Marvel Zombies, because it doesn't have like a background to like live up to, or it doesn't have like what's it called, like a legacy to, you know, look up to. I mean they do, but you know, just because the What If show like put, you know, gave the idea to the fans of like what to expect for like a Marvel Zombies, you know, TV show, that shouldn't be like the only thing that leads them to like when it comes to like writing the story. Like if it's like a zombie apocalypse type of like series, Walking Dead, but just like with Marvel characters, that would be pretty interesting. And I would love to see like their take on it. And I haven't read the comics, but if the comics is popular and it has a good story, like Brandon, do you think that you've read the Marvel Zombies comic? Brandon,
Is he there?
Oh yeah, no, I'm here. Sorry, just something came up real quick.
I just out of curiosity, did you read the Marvel Zombies comics?
Yes, I have actually read them all.
What do you
How
think
is
about
it? Like,
Well, it's a bit complicated because it's like a multiversal Marvel Zombies thing. Because for a while, the first bit is like it's definitely like while it is multiversal, there's like there's a storyline to it. It ends up being like a whole time loop for the like TLDR basically. It's basically a whole time loop. The entire first like saga of the Marvel Zombies that most people are familiar with. Then there's the reboot with the whole Brood and Dead Galactus one, and a few other horror ones as well.
gotcha. So having it being more of like the horror realm, I think making the series itself more on the horror type, considering the success of Werewolf by Night, or at least I think it was a success. Like Werewolf by Night was really cool, and Marvel honestly having that like horror aspect to it, that honestly would be great. And I honestly am just rambling at this point, but I will definitely be viewing Marvel Zombies because I'm a big like zombie movie kind of guy. I love like zombie, like especially when it's like different, like when the zombies are like not the stereotypical slow walkers, brain eaters. Like for example, in World War Z, how the zombies were moving freaking quick.
Zombie
Yeah,
wave?
yeah. So honestly, excited for that. Marvel Zombies. Can't wait to see it. Hopefully, the animation is really good, or at least like really makes a great impression on people for it to continue the series. Because if the series is good and it ends on a high note, then I would love for a season 2 to come out. But we'll see. We'll see.
All right, Vince.
Though we got a hint of it in What If, I'm excited that they actually will take that idea and take that idea from the episode and expand on it. Though I don't know much about the zombie stuff, I am looking forward to what they're gonna do with that, and just like seeing that, like what's it like in a post um apocalyptic world with zombies and everything. What they're gonna do with it. I'm just excited for that show. Yeah, for me.
All right, let's move on to Wonder Man. I have I actually have no knowledge of who Wonder Man is. I
I
do
don't
know
either.
that I do know that this is created by Destin Daniel Cretton, who was the director of Shang-Chi. I do I'm expecting some so I do expect to be entertained by it. I'll pass it out to Brandon to under the assumption that he knows who Wonder Man is.
Yeah, I don't know anything about this character, so you guys just go on. I'll respond as need be. Because I have
All
no
right,
idea what the
Wonder
show's going to be
Man.
about.
Wow, it's been a while since I've actually heard about him. Because honestly, from what we thought, it's taken a really different direction from how it is in the comics, especially in the comics right now. Considering that the whole Wonder Man is like a whole. Well, anyway, I'm assuming we're going to talk about the main one, Simon Williams, but since that is who is in the MCU anyway, so I'll be talking about him. Basically, he is an actor, just like in the show, that was empowered by ionic energy, giving him superpowers. He was initially a villain, but he became a hero and later an Avenger. Later on, however, he eventually did die. Actually, wait, hang on. Yes, it's been a while. It's been a while since about Wonder Man. So I'm trying to remember right now everything. Right, okay, so Wonder Man, he did that right. So basically, yeah, he's like an on and off kind of hero. Like sometimes he's most of the time he's very helpful ever since becoming a hero, but sometimes he's like a villain to the other Avengers as well. Like during the heroic age of comics, like after heroic age, the saga, he actually became a villain to the Avengers because he was just sick and tired of being like an Avenger. He's like, no, we're done, we're done. He became a villain to them, and it was honestly he eventually he came out to being good, but and he's on the side of good right now. But yeah, he's an interesting character. He had a lot of connections with other characters, Ionic, and he has the good nature of powers that I am wondering how they will show in the MCU.
All right, Carbs, do you know anything about Wonder Man?
I personally do not know anything about Wonder Woman. I almost said Wonder Woman, but based off of what Brandon said, he does seem like a pretty interesting hero. I just hope the MCU does him justice, or gives him a good story.
That's a big thing here.
Yeah, but yeah, don't know much about him, but I also didn't know much about Blue Beetle, and I ended up liking that movie and the character in the DC verse. So yeah, hopefully Wonder Man could be a new hero that not people know, but just end up loving.
I mean, that's kind of what the MCU is usually really good at, taking characters that nobody's really heard of that much and turning them into household names. Like, how many people really knew who the Guardians of the who knew who the Guardians of the Galaxy were before the movie came out?
Nope.
In this group, anybody?
Nope, not me.
I didn't.
Did anyone know about Vision? Actually, speaking of Wonder Man, Vision and him actually have a pretty big importance, which I am wondering if they will bring this back for. So actually, Vision, as you know, was created by Ultron, but the brain patterns made to create Vision's persona were actually Wonder Man's. So they have a connection, and yes, they both had a romantic relationship with Wanda in the comics.
I mean, the only time I've seen that part adapted was in this absolutely terrible show, Avengers United They Stand, if anybody remembers that.
Yep.
They actually decided to adapt that as well as a possible relationship with Hawkeye. I don't know. I think it was just because they didn't know how to write two guys interacting.
Yeah, that was weird.
That's a whole nother rant, though.
Yeah, let's leave that alone.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. As for you, Vince, do you know anything about Wonder Man?
Before, not gonna lie, I didn't know who it is until Brendan kind of explained it, and I'm intrigued. That's all I have to say about it.
Yeah, I'm intrigued. And
yeah.
Then now we'll be talking about Vision Quest. So I'm going to assume this is going to be a follow up to WandaVision, since this is called Vision Quest. So I'm assuming.
Yes, this will be with the White Vision. The White Vision.
Yeah. So he's kind of just off doing some Dr. Manhattan stuff, figuring out what the universe is or something. I don't know. I don't know what he's doing.
Yeah, pretty much. I don't know if they revealed the synopsis for Vision Quest, but
they have not revealed that, but they revealed some of the characters.
All I know is that Ultron is coming back, and I'm hyped for that.
Yes, Ultron will be coming back.
Somehow.
Wait, is David Spader going to voice him?
Yes. James Spader is coming back.
All right, that's all right.
Yeah, that's huge.
Yeah. Also, there's this one guy who's coming back as well from phase 1 from actually the original Iron Man movie.
Oh, he was one of the main antagonists of the first Iron Man movie.
Yeah, Raza Hamdil Al Waza. I hope I'm pronouncing that right.
I have no idea who that is.
Who's in the Ten Rings organization? Who made a deal with Obadiah Stane to kidnap Tony Stark?
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, he's that guy. He's
that feels kind of random.
He's confirmed to be coming back.
Yeah,
that's
wow. How they're gonna? Yeah. Brandon. I'll pass this off to Brandon.
Yeah. Okay. So basically, they're bringing that back in because when you really think about it, we never exactly really got an ending to the Ten Rings organization. When you think about
it, like the terrorist group, yeah.
Like not from Shang-Chi, the terrorist group from like Iron Man. We never really got like an entire like what the heck happened to them. People will explain it basically, and probably will explain how they brought Ultron back as well, considering the significance it is to Iron Man. I wouldn't be surprised at this point they probably managed to scavenge enough tech to rebuild Ultron or something like that for the Ten Rings.
Which is a very stupid decision, but I wouldn't put it past them.
Exactly. They're terrorists. They will do anything. I would like
I
literally.
mean, I was just gonna say they're dumb, but
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, in all honesty, for Vision Quest itself, I am looking forward to seeing the White Vision as he like, reintegrates as himself again. And I do want to see like how he sees the world now and what's gonna happen. Like how is he changed now that he has all his old memories back, and how will we see him now? So
All right, RevinEvan.
again, I don't really know that much about this. Look, how about we just rapid fire through a lot of these shows? If I have some thoughts, I'll interject because I know really nothing about a lot of this stuff.
All right, Carbs.
Vision Quest. Honestly, if like I know something about Vision is that, for example, in the comics, he actually starts his own family, and I don't know if they introduced that in the show, but it's like interesting if Vision somehow starts his own like family in Vision Quest. It probably is not going to happen because that's like really insane, and also it would like kind of mess with the whole him being in love with Wanda and all that stuff.
yeah, I'm pretty sure that would take
But
away from it. And also, he's in the White Vision phase, which in comics was synonymous with him turning evil. I mean, sure, he has all his memories back, but like again, we don't really know his alignment right now. It's like, is he still a good guy, or is he still like like a super evil killer, homicidal synthezoid?
Maybe that's why Ultron is in there.
Yeah, that would make sense.
Like he's egging him on to give in to his original purpose, which is basically just be a better body for Ultron.
Well.
I mean, if they do that and Ultron does succeed, I mean, there was a What If episode of like that happening, so we all know what's to come if that does actually.
Yeah, he fully integrates into Vision's body. Thanos shows up, he immediately one-shots him and takes the stones. Yeah.
Yeah, which I'm still like, wait, how did that happen? But
he was caught off guard, and the Mind Stone is just that strong.
Yeah, they caught Thanos lacking. But honestly, it still baffles me that they waited so long to actually talk about what happened to Vision in WandaVision and how he's not even relevant to the MCU at the moment. Hopefully, he appears in Doomsday, because if not, then that means Sam has not really been looking, or like hasn't been looking deeply for new members for the Avengers. Because it's like you have Vision right there.
Yeah, he's not looking for new Avengers members, but he immediately jumped on suing the new Avengers for taking the name.
Right.
Like, that's a confirmed thing.
Yeah, he is suing them.
Yeah, that's why they're no longer the new Avengers, they're the Avengers.
Yeah,
according to the Red Guardian, they are the Avengers. He found.
I want one of those uniforms right now.
Yeah, I love Red Guardian. Top character in the new Avengers.
All right.
But
that whole movie is just character actors, the movie.
Yeah, but back to Vision Quest. Excited to see what they actually do with Vision, and hopefully it's not something dumb.
All right, Vince, what are your thoughts on Vision Quest?
All right. Initially when I announced it, I didn't really care about it, but now that I'm hearing through you guys and hearing that Ultron is coming back and having David Spader to voice him back again, thank God. I'm more I'm intrigued what they're gonna do with him, White Vision, now since after 4 years of being irrelevant. I'm excited what they're gonna do with him in the future. Yeah.
All right, let's move on to Vision Quest to Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man.
This is something we can actually talk about because the first season's already out.
I have actually not seen this
like
show.
The best one.
You have?
What?
Nope, I have not seen this show. It's mainly because the animation style is not clicking with me. But I did heard some good things about it.
Dude, you are missing out. Are you kidding?
It's actually really good.
Really? It's actually
good?
Yes, this is probably like the best animation they've done in a while.
Yeah. I dude, I saw the trailer for it. The animation is not clicking with me at all.
That's a fair thing to say. It's just
It's a
if
matter
you
of
get past
opinion.
the animation looking kind of wonky, it actually has some really good stuff in it.
Yeah, I'll pass this off to RevinEvan.
That's all I really have to say right now. I'm just kind of letting these guys say what they want to say.
All right, Brandon.
Yeah, no, this is definitely one of the better animated like Spider-Man shows. Like God forbid the Ultimate Spider-Man and the whole reboot after that. Like this was good. They brought it into so it's like MCU. It's like it starts off like the MCU, but it's not the MCU.
Sort of.
I think they did a really good job with. Yeah, I think they did a really good job.
It's basically just, hey, what if we took Tony Stark, but instead of his role in the MCU mentoring Peter, it was Norman Osborn?
Yeah, exactly. And I
like what if Norman was in Civil War instead?
Yeah, they have good character development, all in all, and honestly, it's just really good. You really need to watch this, man.
Yep.
All right,
I mean,
Carbs.
the only people that are generally hating on the show are those kind of Spider-Man fans.
All right. So crazy enough, I have not seen Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, but I already seen like spoilers and like I've seen like clips of it. I will agree with you that the animation is kind of funky, but I feel like that's a choice. And everyone's saying that the story itself is pretty good. I'm glad that it apparently before like the final project, it was originally supposed to be about like it was supposed to take place in the actual like the main line MCU, but then they scrapped it because apparently it didn't give them it gave them creative restrictions of what they could do. Which honestly, I'm glad that they decided to go that route and not make it canon to canon to the MCU timeline. But I will say that the season 2 coming out, it might get more interesting. It was cool seeing, Oh, but do you guys mind if I spoil the show a bit? Or
go ahead.
Should I make?
I mean, Darwin, are you going to end up seeing it, or do you care about things being spoiled?
I'm probably gonna forget if he spoils it.
Okay, well, there's like a lot of cameos in like the show itself. The one for me that took me like wow, that's actually pretty cool seeing it in like animated form, like in this type of animation form was Daredevil with his night costume.
With Charlie Cox playing him.
Yeah, yep. Honestly, that was Charlie Cox voice acting.
Yes.
Yeah.
I have seen leaks of Daredevil. I have seen. I think I was aware that Daredevil was leaked before the show came out. I think I've seen that.
Oh, okay. So then, not too big of a spoiler. Yeah. But honestly, that fight choreography was like pretty cool, and also the character being in the show was nice to see. And honestly, Harry Osborn or Norman Osborn being like that figure that Tony was to Peter in our universe, be that figure in that Peter's universe is interesting because it's also weird how like that universe has a Norman Osborn but this MCU doesn't. But I don't know. It just doesn't feel right.
We know about.
Yeah, but it just doesn't feel right if this Norman Osborn was introduced into the mainline MCU timeline. Because it would have been like, where was he throughout the entirety of like the events of the films? But considering Norman in No Way Home said that Oscorp doesn't exist, and I mean it makes sense now. Yeah,
so he says it doesn't exist in the 5 minutes of research he did looking around, asking people in New York, "Hey, where's my company?" I don't know. Who knows? Maybe it exists somewhere else in the world that he didn't know about.
That could be a possibility. But honestly, glad that they chose to make it like a multiverse like series. That way, people don't actually have to like watch it to like understand like future MCU films because I didn't watch it and I'm fine not watching it, like watching some clips of it. But if season 2 comes out and I find it interesting, then maybe I'll watch like the show itself to understand more like of like the characters. But yeah, Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man 2, if it has a good enough audience, then I say go for it.
All right, Vince, have you seen Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man? If so, what are your thoughts?
I have, and it's honestly probably one of the better Spider-Man shows. And I really like initially I didn't like the animation show that much, but it didn't click with me. But as the show went on, it kind of grown on me, and so um, given how it's like it starts, um, yeah, it's kind of in this kind of multiverse. Is like kind of starts like the MCU, but not given how I really like how to handle all the characters and all that stuff, and so that's really good for me. Excited for the next season when it comes out on Disney Plus.
Okay, so if Daredevil's in the show, does that mean Wilson Fisk could be in the show?
Yes.
All right. I mean, that sounds interesting. Speaking of Wilson
I
Fisk,
mean,
let's talk about Daredevil Born Again. Oh my
okay.
God, this show, man. Oh my God, we're so bad.
Okay.
We are so
I don't
bad.
think I can give that many thoughts without bouncing off of you guys, so just
Alright.
say what you want and I'll interject when need be.
Oh my God. Yeah, we are so back. We're so back, man. Dude, yeah, if you guys saw my video on the Netflix's Daredevil, y'all know how much I love that show. Y'all know that this show is literally one of the greatest superhero shows of all time. It it's the it is one of the best. It is literally one of the greatest things in the MCU. Top. It is literally in the top three greatest MCU projects of all time. Y'all know how much I
Even though it
rate that
wasn't originally
show.
supposed to be an MCU project, but okay.
Yeah, yeah. Now it's canon to the MCU. Y'all know how much I love this. I love that show, and honestly, I think Born Again delivers. Honestly, if you ask me, with the story sequences, the all the deaths, all the brutality. Oh my
You
God,
mean the
it
one?
is. This
You mean
is.
the big character deaths that happened off screen?
Yep, yep. It's yeah. This is everything I. Yeah, this is pretty much everything I wanted. I know it's kind of. I know it's kind of wonk. I know it gets kind of wonky at points. Very wonky, very clunky.
We know
But
exactly
man,
why it
but
is.
yeah, but yeah, but yeah. Daredevil Born Again. Oh my God, we're so back. We are actually so back. I I'm so excited for season two. I'm so excited for season two. Brandon, have you seen Daredevil Born Again? If so, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I have seen Daredevil Born Again, and honestly, I am so glad they brought Daredevil back. Oh my god, best series in the entire Netflix and all the Netflix Marvel shows. Honestly,
That's
I
not
could
that high
argue
a
that
bar,
Not
Daredevil.
even
though.
not even close.
Eh, Yeah, and when they bring it back, it's like, oh my god, we are so back. We are so back. We're winning again. This is just peak Daredevil. Honestly, this is how Daredevil is fighting the legal system on both sides, like as a lawyer and as a vigilante. It's as Kingpin once again. It's just so good. Like I have no words to describe it. It's just yes, we're back, baby.
As for you, Carbs, have you seen Daredevil Born Again? If so, what are your thoughts?
I have not seen Daredevil Born Again, but although I heard some people say they liked it, a lot of people say they didn't like it. But honestly, I haven't even seen the original Daredevil series, but I probably won't see it. I mean, it is Daredevil, it's cool and all, but I'm just glad that people actually like the show and like are like a big Daredevil fan. I'm not really that big of a Daredevil fan, but it was cool seeing him in No Way Home. The hype was real.
Yeah. All right. Vince, have you seen Daredevil Born Again? If so, what are your thoughts?
Um, to be honest, uh, I've heard of it, just never watched it myself. But I've heard good things about it.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Now we move on from the TV shows. We finally get to talk about the movies. Let's talk about the Fantastic Four. we might we might finally get a good Fantastic Four movie. Finally, after like
That's such cap because The Incredibles exists.
yeah, I forgot that people called The Incredibles a Fantastic Four movie.
It's pretty much the closest thing we've gotten to a good one before this one comes out. Hopefully, I don't know.
This looks. First Steps looks great so far. I love the suits. Joseph Quinn as the Human Torch is kind of perfect casting. I love I love the way the thing. I love the design, how they designed the thing, and it looks like they specialize on the family aspect of the Fantastic Four, which you're supposed to do that since they are
The Marvel's
the
first family.
Yep, pretty much. So I'm looking forward to what this movie's all about. All right, I'll pass it off to RevinEvan.
Okay, this is something I can actually talk about because I really want to. I'm really excited for this movie. I love the aesthetic of the film. The casting looks great so far. I'm not really sure what they're going to do in terms of the plot, other than I'm pretty sure their world's going to get destroyed at the end, which is why they go to the main MCU and the Thunderbolts thing. But I don't know. I'm really excited for what they do with it.
All right, Brandon.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see how this movie plays out, especially since that whole ending from Thunderbolts with the Excelsior coming in. It's the whole sense of foreboding. Like, what exactly happened and made it so that the Fantastic Four had to travel to the main MCU timeline? Like, what happened? Is this going to be explained in the Fantastic Four Steps? Did Galactus win? And yes, that's not a spoiler. We saw Galactus in the trailers before anyone says anything.
Yeah, we just saw him taking a casual stroll across, I believe, to be New York.
Yep. What happened? Did they lose? What does it mean for the multiverse? Like,
they probably lost.
Yeah, probably. But,
whether it be Galactus or an incursion happening, I don't know. Either works.
Mm-hmm.
All I know is that they lost. They have to go to the main MCU now, and that's it. I know nothing about the actual plot of the movie yet, which is more than I can say for some of the people trying to talk shit about it.
All right, Carbs. What are your thoughts on First Steps?
So honestly, I already told my hype around it in the Thunderbolts post credit scene. But honestly, excited for Fantastic Four first steps. Me and my friend are actually going to go watch the movie and go there cosplaying as like the characters. I'm going to be the thing. He's going to be Mr. Fantastic. But
how are you going to do the thing? Like, how are you going to get that costume?
I made it already because I recently went to a convention as the thing, and I'm just going to use that costume again for the movie. It's going to be really fun.
May I
so we're going to do that. 2 tickets, please. And they're going to be like, "Oh, what movie?" And then it's just going to pan with me and my friend. But
okay,
honestly, the trailer
the costume, and can I see them?
Yes, I do. I will send them to you shortly, or I will show them to you when I see you in person. I thought I did. Oh. But I'm trying to 3D print like the helmet. That way, because the mask is a little bit.
Hey, wait. Okay, let's just get back to the actual thing. We'll discuss that later.
Yeah, you're right. Anyways, back to the actual film. The second trailer showed the characters better. It doesn't work on that one. Show the characters better than the first trailer did, especially with some of the CG. But
we finally saw Reed stretch.
This honestly does feel more like a family, like the group of actors, especially with that one scene of you're late and them interacting. That one was cute. But I can't wait to see what they have to do and how they're either going to lose or how they have to go to a different dimension to stop maybe Galactus or Doctor Doom. We don't know yet. But it just brings me so much hype back to the MCU. And also being the start of the Phase 6, honestly, I'm ready. And it's honestly, I think this film is gonna do great at the box office, especially since we've been waiting for years since the tease of the Fantastic Four being in the MCU. And you guys remember that one little trailer of the See You at the Movies that Marvel released for the Phase 4 lineup of films?
Yeah.
Yeah, and how it ended with the 4 like logo, and everyone was like excited because it was like Fantastic Four, or it could have also just been Phase 4. But Marvel
it was just Phase 4.
But Marvel knew what they were doing there. But yeah, honestly, hyped for the film, and can't wait to see it.
All right, Vince, what are your thoughts on the new Fantastic Four movie?
Honestly, given what we've seen so far with the trailers and Thunderbolts, I'm hyped for it. Given I finally an actual good one, fantastic movies compared to previous attempts. I am excited how they kind of what Brennan going off what Brennan said, how they got into the main, how they are going, what happened during this film. They'll make them go into the main MCU continuity. So I'm I am extremely hyped for this movie. So yeah, for me, yeah.
All right, let's move on to Fantastic Four, a movie we know a lot about, to a movie we do not know much about. Doomsday. So we don't. So I think the movie started production. They started filming it.
Yeah.
What we do know is
All we
the
know about
Fox.
is the cast right now.
Yeah, the all we know is that the 20th Century Fox version of the X-Men are gonna be in the movie. They're gonna be the main focus, besides
Are they?
the Avengers.
And Doom.
Yeah. Oh my god, dude. Yeah, I saw the live stream myself.
The full
Yeah,
5-hour live stream of them
yeah,
just slowly revealing chairs.
yes, yes. I mean, as soon as I saw Ian McKellen, it was a wrap. All bets were off. Literally, all bets were off. I was like, there's no way they're getting all of the Fox X Men, all the Fox X Men
Well, you're right.
characters. Oh my god. Like, there's no
Well,
way.
you're right. They're not going to
Oh
get
my
everyone there.
god. Like, that is so we do know that Spider-Man is not going to be in Doomsday. Well, we're
Yeah,
gonna
he's
get into
having
that.
his own movie while this is happening.
We're gonna get into that later. I Scarlet Witch is not going to be in Doomsday.
That we know of yet.
Yeah, not.
Who knows? Maybe that wasn't the full cast reveal.
Yeah, that's a lot of people. Yeah, I'm surprised that Namor's coming back. I don't know what they're gonna do with him in Doomsday. So
It will probably just be a character that exists.
perhaps, but yeah, we don't know much about Doomsday. Other than Robert Downey Jr. is coming back to the MCU as Marvel's big as Marvel's is not only Marvel's is big bad, but also, from what I understand, probably the pettiest shithead I have ever heard.
Oh, he's definitely up there.
Yeah.
Yep.
Do I have to bring up all the examples I showed you?
Yes, please. I'll let RevinEvan describe who Victor is and how much of a
just how much of a petty piece of shit Dr. Doom is.
Yes. Please.
Please do.
Imagine taking over your country, giving everyone free Wi-Fi, and making the password "Richard sucks." Then usurping the law to change the language of your country to make the word "read" mean toilet. Imagine being dragged into hell, and when Reed tried to pull him out, he instead tried to pull him into the portal, scar his face, and fall into hell, basically giving him the middle finger. That's not exactly what happened in the comics, but that's pretty much what happened. Imagine a celestial being comes to the Earth, giving people tests to see whether the Earth should be spared or not. His test was, just say Reed Richards is smarter than you. Doom then decided to say pass, and the celestial agreed, because there was no way he was going to convince him. Imagine seeing a future timeline where he and Reed decide to patch things up and they create a sort of utopian society where crime is no longer a thing. What did Doom decide to do? Kill this version of him, go to that universe and destroy it so no trace field was left. And also try to be a better father to how to reach children out of spite. I'm kind of rambling at this point. I should probably just go pull up a list, but those are just the ones I can think of for just how much of a petty piece of shit Doom is.
Dude,
Oh, no, it
Specifically
gets
to
even
read
worse.
and no one else.
Well, yeah,
Please go on. You are the comic expert, so please just correct me on anything that I've said.
Yeah, go ahead,
No,
Brandon.
no. You've actually said like a lot of good stuff about pettiness that Doom has done, literally just because it's Reed. There's there's a future version of himself actually, from Earth 2099, who literally reset the timeline to make it into his own liking just because of Reed. Literally, he reset a freaking timeline just because
How much further?
Like Reed. Literally.
How much more? How much more can we find?
I can go on with it. The Secret Wars, not the original, but the more recent one from the 2010s.
Which I think is what they're going to pull from for the movie.
Yeah, probably most likely. Doom just being God while Reed's nowhere around, literally just no way to stop him.
And y'all,
God, he's such a dick.
Yeah, and y'all thought Stinkmeaner and Freezer are petty. Yeah, Doom is above that. He's like above that. Leagues above
the only
that.
one I could see being pettier than him is Reverse Flash, but they're kind of tied right now.
I'm not.
That is true.
Yeah, I'm not sure about you. Yeah, I think Doom is above you, Bart. All right. Yeah. How about you, Carps? What are your thoughts on Doomsday so far?
My first thought, I was like, wait, so you're like, what's Namor doing in this movie? He's not relevant. What? He's just going to be a background character.
Also, he's a mutant, so.
Yeah, but fun fact for you, did you know that Namor and Mrs. Fantastic have some history?
Storm?
Brandon knows what I'm talking about.
Oh no,
Yeah,
are they going to adapt that shit too?
All on and off relationship between them.
That's all I'm saying about
Namor's just being a bitch.
Yeah, but I mean, okay, but honestly though, I feel like at least in the MCU, Namor is most likely going to be recruited by Shuri to like help out in this war that's going to destroy the Earth. And considering that Namor only cares for the ocean, it will make sense how he would want to join the fight to protect his home. So that's maybe probably like the only reason why he would actually want to stay or help out. But I'm so excited for this film. This film would honestly, I'm not surprised if it makes like $2 billion at the box office. And because it's with the cast that's happening, with a new Avengers movie coming out after years, and just honestly, just the hype of this movie is gonna be insane. Will it be Infinity War level hype? Maybe. Because I mean, Infinity War and Endgame hype were like because of the years of films for Marvel, like the decade of the work and everything. That's why there was like so much hype. But for Doomsday and Secret Wars, it's most likely going to be like, okay, this is going to be insane. Not because of like the years of buildup. I mean, plus that, but also like the amount of characters that we're about to see in this film. It's going to be absolute cinema.
Yeah, I think the hype is less about the actual build up and leave up and characters we've gotten to know across the films. I feel like the hype is more come from, hey guys, remember this? For the majority of the movie.
Yeah.
Based on how many people they've gotten back.
Hopefully it's not just that, but I wish also we want an actual story. But if it's just about like them referencing a bunch of stuff, then
like
that's not. Then that's not gonna like do a lot. But hopefully, I trust the Russo brothers. So
yeah, I honestly
I trust them too.
I don't know if it's just me, but I feel like what Doom is gonna do, he's gonna kill off the Fox X-Men universe. That's
so what? Do you think that they're gonna bring back the original X-Men just to have them show up for approximately one scene? Doom kills them all and then moves on.
That's what I'm thinking.
To be fair, there is some merit to this, considering we do have that scene of Deadpool and Thor holding Deadpool in his arms. We do have that merit to that.
That's just a possible future. And also, I think they're probably just going to do that because, Patrick Stewart and Ian McKellen are basically this close to being on death's door, so they might as well just have one scene before they had to recast them. I don't know.
But yeah, pretty much. So, Vince, what are your thoughts on Doomsday so far?
I am excited for that movie. I know it's in good hands with the Russo brothers, given they directed both Infinity War and Endgame. All right. I also they brought back Shang-Chi, Shang-Chi, one of my personal favorite movies of post Endgame so far. And I'm just excited for this movie and just like the amount of characters having that cast in the movie is not easy to do, but given the track record of the Russo brothers, I am excited for this movie. So yeah.
Speaking of Doom, is that version of Doom in this most likely in the same universe as those versions of the Fantastic Four? Or
Probably. I don't know.
Maybe.
I don't know if
Well,
he's in
the
the cast
reason
for the movie
being,
though.
well, yeah, but it's not really known right now. All we really know about this Doom variant, if he is one, is that he has some relation to Tony Stark from
Yeah.
from
Because same
MCU,
actor.
the main MCU. That's all we really know about him so far.
All we know is that he just played by the same actor. That's all we really know about Doom right now.
No. It's been confirmed that he has a relationship with the Tony Stark that died in Endgame. That Tony Stark, yes, the very same Tony Stark that RDJ said goodbye to. They will be related?
Okay.
So how is that going to work exactly? So what? When Tony did the snap and killed himself, did Doom feel that?
We don't know.
Like Doom hijacked his dead body or something. I don't know. Like
hijacked his dead body? Like when we're going to see Iron Man's corpse is coming out of the gravestone and then Doom there?
It's Doom. He's done worse.
I mean, we've already seen that possessing corpses is a thing, as seen with Multiverse of Madness. We saw Strange do that to his own dead body.
And plus, Doom is a master of magic in the comics.
That's true.
Yes, like he's a contender for Sorcerer Supreme.
Denying, oh hey, this isn't happening.
Either that, or it's just going to be another variant.
Yeah. But anyway,
I'm also kind of wondering. I'm also kind of wondering that with Robert Downey Jr. being cast as him, if he's actually going to have the mask on for any of his scenes.
Yeah, he kind of has to have a mask on.
Well, he has to. Remember, the mask was like surgically like burnt or fused to his face because he didn't want to wait till it cooled off.
That's literally the mask is literally part of
the character.
His identity. That's literally a part of his identity. Like,
you
cannot take the mask off. You can't do it. You cannot do it. I'm sorry. You just cannot.
Literally.
Well, I mean, Fox already tried.
We don't talk about those versions.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's move on to Doomsday. Let's talk about the brand new day for a moment. Okay, first of all, I want to say I love this logo for Brand New Day. That is.
It's the classic spider font.
Yeah.
Well, not classic, but like the early 2000s spider font.
Yeah, that's why I love it. It reminds me of the early 2000s. Whoever designed that needs a raise. They.
Again, it's just a logo. That's all we know about the movie. All we know is that it's happening, and this is the logo.
Yeah. So what we know about Brand New Day is we're getting some new characters.
Like who? Who was confirmed?
So what I think Destin Daniel Cretton is going to direct the movie. The same guy that directed Shang-Chi. So
that's a pretty good choice.
Yeah. So we don't know the characters, but we do know the actors that are confirmed for this movie.
Okay, who were they other than Tom Holland, who we know is already in the movie?
Okay, so one of the new actors that's been confirmed is Sadie Sink. We don't know who she's playing, but some people were speculating that she might play Jean Grey, which makes no fucking sense to me at all.
That's a very weird choice.
Yeah, that makes
especially for a fucking Spider-Man movie.
Yes. First of all, why would you introduce one of the most iconic mutants in a Spider-Man movie?
Maybe. Well, this is my theory, but we as Zendaya is playing Michelle Jones. Maybe Mary Jane.
Maybe.
Love Rival, maybe?
I don't know. I don't know. Was that? Oh, we don't know who she's going to play.
Yeah, where she,
Just a theory.
I think some people are speculating she might be Gwen Stacy. Some people said she might be, she might play, uh, there were some other girls, that are known in the comics, but I keep forgetting their names. Um, yeah, and another cast that was just confirmed was Liza Colon Zayas, who some people are speculating she might be Rio Morales. So we may or may not see Miles Morales.
We know he's already in the MCU.
Yeah,
And I would totally
so,
love to see him.
Yeah, like we already saw the Prowler in Homecoming. He said, "Yeah, I think I'm gonna be late tonight, Miles." So we know he's already there.
Yeah, we
yeah.
know he's in. We know he's in there. So
We
there's
just have been properly
definitely a
introduced
chance
to
that
him.
he's definitely gonna be in there.
So a lot of people are speculating, that the main villain, for this movie would be Mr. Negative.
Oh, okay. Well, I did hear a rumor about them trying to cast a 40 to 50-year-old Asian man for a role. So
Yeah,
or something along those lines. All I know is that a Asian man is being cast for a lead role. So I'm wondering, are they doing Mr. Negative?
yeah. The only reason why I
Because if
knew,
they do, okay, honestly, it's a great choice for a villain.
yeah, honestly, the only reason why I knew of Mr. Negative is because of the PS4 Spider-Man game. That's how I knew of him. I don't know about you guys.
Oh no, I knew of him because of comics.
I found out of him. Okay, I first found out about him because of Anti-Venom.
Uh, uh, um, that's it for me. I mean, well, so I hope this is a street level movie, but from what I'm reading and seeing, it looks like it could be a street level movie, which is
Again,
fantastic to
we know
hear.
literally nothing about the movie other than it exists now.
Yeah, yeah. So we do know that Spider-Man is not going to be in Doomsday. Could be in Secret Wars for all we know.
Yeah, that's
So
because this and Doomsday is supposed to take place at the same time.
yeah, so
Kind of like how
Like, this is supposed to explain what Spider-Man is up to during that.
yeah, pretty much.
Because
So,
he's not supposed to be because he's not supposed to be in Doomsday, but apparently Daredevil is.
yeah, about the Daredevil thing. So there's this weird mandate going on that Wilson Fisk cannot be in an MCU movie because of contract issues. Yeah,
I have no
Yeah, no,
idea
that's
how that
true. That's
works.
true.
That's bullshit.
That's dumb.
That's so fucking bullshit. I fucking hate
It is how it is.
You just really want to see Spider-Man fight Kingpin, which, you know what, I agree.
yeah, 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 yes. He is more so he's more so a Daredevil villain than a Spider-Man villain, but come on, man. Come on. I just want to see
Who
Spider-Man.
knows? Maybe Born Again Season 2 will throw us for a loop and Spider-Man will show up. Who knows?
Well, who knows? People have confirmed that they played Spider-Man's theme in the final episode of Born Again. So we
well,
might. Yeah. Yes.
All I know is
is
that
true.
Daredevil was trying to get an army of vigilantes to join to stop Kingpin. I feel like Spider-Man would be a part of that because they're in the same fucking city, so
Yeah, I feel like since the city is under since the city is under attack, yeah, this is something Spider-Man could not ignore. So yeah, yeah,
either that or they're just gonna say, who cares? New Avengers will do something about it.
yeah, pretty much. All right, Revan Evan, how are you feeling about Brand New Day?
I've given all my thoughts already. All I know is that it exists, and I have nothing to really say on it yet. I'd rather wait for some concrete stuff to come out about before giving my thoughts.
All right, Brandon.
Yeah, I am excited for this. There's a lot of potential going into it, and the whole storylines, considering Brand New Day and everything. And I am excited to see what direction they take.
All right, Carbs.
All right. So, my opinion on Brand New Day. Well, first of all, I love the fact that it's coming out on my birthday next year, so that's fire.
It is?
But
Hey.
Hey, happy
that's gonna
birthday!
be a
Then
great birthday gift.
That is
But
awesome.
I mean, we all know it might like get pushed either backwards or forwards because you never know nowadays. But what I do like is that we're getting another Spider-Man film, and the font honestly does look crazy good. Like it looks something straight out of like the comics. But not a lot is like known about the film, so I don't know like what to expect. And I just know that apparently Marvel was fighting for it to be a street level like Spider-Man film, but Sony was trying to make it a multiverse film because of how Spider-Man No Way Home made a ton of money because of it being a multiverse film. Which I'm like, really? We like because originally, and I don't know if you guys knew this, but like the original villain for Spider-Man 3 No Way Home was supposed to be
Craven.
Hey,
It was
yeah,
Craven, right?
Craven the Hunter.
Yeah, but then Sony was like,
Yeah,
no, we have a way better idea. And we all know what happened with that.
Movie.
No, that's not what they said. No, we have a way better idea for what we could do with Craven.
Yeah.
Oh gosh. They're like, no, don't waste Craven. We already got him. And everyone was like,
we have the perfect plan. And then you know what happened.
Yeah, so much for that perfect plan. But
I just have to take this wire out and I'll become a rhino.
Oh gosh, don't even remind me of that, dude. But yeah, honestly, excited for the new Spider-Man movie. Hopefully, okay. So I hope that like little symbiote, like post-credit scene at the end of Spider-Man No Way Home actually means something. Because if we get a black suit Spider-Man in live action, it's gonna be absolute cinema because we have not seen that since Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man 3, which I'm not mad at. But
I hope they do it properly this time.
Honestly, yeah. I feel like what they're going to do is they're not going to address it in the new Spider-Man film. They're going to wait till Secret Wars to do it because that's what happened in the comics.
Yep, that's what I was about to like.
That's probably what they're going to do. And then the next film after Secret Wars is going to be the whole Black Suit saga. But I don't know. Maybe they'll actually try to stretch it out a little bit, make it actually mean something instead of immediately try to shove Venom in.
Yep.
Because we already have a lot of Venom to go look at if we really want to.
Well,
just not any of him fighting Spider-Man like everyone wanted.
Well, we don't have any Brock yet.
True.
He could probably exist in the MCU. We just don't know.
All right. Vince, what are your thoughts on Brand New Day?
I'm excited. Honestly, going off of how No Way Home ended, Peter's friend lost his memory and everything. There's definitely a lot of story potential, what it could be, but I'm hoping it's street level. But yeah, given how the last movie, No Way Home ended, it just says I see a lot of potential what it can do with anything at this point, and that's pretty much makes me optimistic for it. Pretty much, I'm excited for it though. Yeah.
All right, let's move on to what is going to be the last Phase 6 movie, Secret Wars.
The shortest phase you've ever had.
So I know the basics of Secret Wars. Doom is the main villain of this storyline. Literally every single universe is fighting against each other. That's it. Honestly, that's
they're all compounded together into one spot.
Yeah. That's all I know about Secret Wars. Yeah, honestly, I don't know. Yeah, we don't know much about Secret Wars.
All I know is that this is probably from rumors, but apparently I heard that it's going to establish that all the other Marvel stuff that we haven't seen in the MCU, like Fantastic Four, X-Men, all that, were originally a part of the MCU, but because of some time travel meddling with Kang, those were separated off, and Secret Wars is going to bring them all back together into one combined universe, I guess.
Yeah.
Again, this is just a rumor. I don't know if that's a fully confirmed thing, but honestly, I won't put it past them.
Yeah. Speaking of Kang, I'm pretty sure he was supposed to be the main antagonist for this version of Secret Wars before they would change it to Doomsday. They changed it to Victor Von Doom.
But yeah, it was originally Kang Dynasty and then Doomsday.
Yep.
Which, honestly, I feel like that was the correct choice, because if you're going to adapt Secret Wars, you have to have Doom as the villain.
Yeah, pretty much. But then again, they did change the Civil War storyline a lot.
Yeah, they kind of just
But-
took the title and not much else.
Yeah. Although, from what I've heard, the Civil War comic storyline is ass, so that's probably for the better.
Both of them. Both of them were pretty bad.
Yeah, both of them are not really that good.
So, all right, RevinEvan, what are your thoughts on the Secret Wars so far?
Again, I'm already giving my thoughts as we're going along with this, so all I know is that this movie is happening. It's probably going to be absolutely insane. It's probably going to be full of a lot of, hey guys, remember this from the other movies? But I don't know. That's pretty much all I got.
If this is gonna be a 3.5-hour film, there better be.
I mean, we already sat through the 3 hours of the Batman. We can go through this.
You're right.
Movie length is not a problem for me, man.
I mean, you're right. Brandon?
We were able to sit through 4 hours of Zack Snyder's Justice League. We can sit through shit like this.
All right, Brandon?
Yeah, Secret Wars. Yeah, I am curious to see how this will play out, given the whole fallout from Avengers Doomsday and how it's gonna tie in with Spider-Man Brand New Day, because Brand New Day is gonna be happening concurrently with Doomsday, and this is gonna be probably the biggest event ever since Endgame. I mean, it's Secret Wars that like the Beyonder might appear as some big multiversal threat. There's so many things.
Honestly, yeah. Honestly, if they're going to adapt stuff like Secret Wars, why wouldn't they have the Beyonder in there?
Yeah, like the Beyonder
And
is
if so-
basically a very big part of the whole Secret Wars itself, both in the originals and the 2010 and the 2010.
Yeah, and he's one of the absolute strongest things in Marvel. Period.
literally nigh omnipotence, ultimate power. Everyone tries to fight over it, especially Doom, who somehow manages to get it every single time. Yeah, I mean,
Now I'm starting to wonder. Okay, now I'm starting to wonder if they are actually going to have the Beyonder in that movie, and if so, who are they going to get to play him?
probably Doom.
No, I mean, who are they going to get to play the Beyonder in the movie?
Oh yeah, but yeah, like the Doom does technically become Beyonder at one point because he does gain their power. So
Yes.
that's good. That's good. I guess we'll just see.
All right, Carbs?
All right, Secret Wars. Honestly, this is probably going to be a historical event. If the movie is 3.5 hours, that is honestly deserved, because a movie like that with that many characters deserves to have like a good runtime. Because I do not want that movie to be rushed. Just do what Infinity War did. It might do that because it honestly works best like that, because I don't want just like all the characters on screen at the same time talking one after another. And then one having to be like, oh gosh, there's just so much happening at the same time. I won't know what's happening. In Infinity War, it was cool that they separated them pretty much into like almost like two groups. You know, half the heroes here, half the other heroes here. But then again, in Infinity War, it was only like 20 heroes at most. Here,
Yeah,
it's like freaking 40, double that. Because we got the X-Men, we got the Fantastic Four, we got the Inhumans, and we got the Avengers, we got the Young Avengers, we got the New Avengers. We just got so many people.
Who are the Young Avengers right now? I don't have the Young Avengers been introduced yet.
Some of the members of the Young Avengers have been introduced.
All right, who was on the team? I
There's
forgot.
Hawkeye. There's Marvel.
It actually has been implied that the Young Avengers are being introduced. If you guys have seen the Marvels, it was like the ending of that movie.
No, I saw it. I just don't remember that much about it, aside from like 3 or so scenes.
Where Miss Marvel went to go find Kate Bishop, and she was pretty much pulling in the theory of how she's assembling a team. But honestly, that hopefully Secret Invasion does a good job of introducing
Secret Wars.
Right.
We don't talk about Secret Invasion here.
Secret Wars. Why do I keep forgetting that? Secret Invasion was dumb. But speaking of Secret Invasion, do you think we're ever going to go see that one character that has every single superhero and villain's powers?
Probably.
That one scroll?
Super Scroll is definitely going to be a play as part some point.
Super Scroll. Yeah.
Super Scroll.
Either that, or we just see her. Either that, or we just see her corpse for one scene, then move on.
But excited for Secret Invasion. Hopefully 3.5 hours, because that's something I will.
Get the title right. You're having the same problem as Darwin over here.
Secret Wars. Secret Wars. Hey, at least for me, it's accidental, not on purpose. But yeah, Secret Wars is going to be a historical moment in history, in cinematic history. Can't wait for it.
All right, Vince.
All right. Wait. Speaking of Secret Wars, did they confirm that the Russo brothers are directing this movie?
Yes, they're directing both Doomsday and Secret Wars.
All right. The movie with the storyline like Secret Wars, I'm excited of this movie. Like I said in Avengers Doomsday, given the track record of the Russo brothers, I'm sure they handle this many characters in one time. I am I'm excited. It's again, if it is 3.5 hours, that's just to see what they can do, what they can do after what if the way Doomsday ended. I'm excited for what they can do and just like bring it all together. So yeah, I'm excited.
All right, and the last thing we'll talk about is Frank Castle is getting his own MCU project. He's getting his own special presentation.
Do we know anything about it other than it exists? Do we even have a title?
No. We do know that John
Then why are we talking about it?
We do know
why are we talking about something that we don't even know? That
we do know that John Berthol's writing it. So we do know it's gonna be good. But my god. Oh my god. Dude. If the Punisher is not gonna be in Doomsday or Secret Wars, this is the best bet.
What would he do? What would he do in either of those situations?
Good question.
Look, Daredevil, I don't know. You could maybe make an argument. The Punisher, what the hell is he going to do? Unless... Oh, God. Don't remind me.
Yeah, I can't.
Okay. Yeah, what is the Punisher going to do unless they're going to do the Garth Ennis thing where he just kills everybody?
Yeah, I'm gonna be real with you. It's probably gonna be like set right after the first season 1 ending of Daredevil Born Again. So yeah, I'm very
where it's entirely new material and wasn't just the mishmash of two separate visions.
Yeah, pretty much. So I'll pass it up to Brandon.
Sorry, I zoned out for a second. What were we discussing again?
Something about the Punisher being developed. We don't even know a title, but it's there. I guess
the Punisher. I am excited to see Frank Castle return. I am excited to see how his actor will be further playing the role as Punisher, and I hope for good things because he did really well as Punisher. So John Bernthal played a really good Punisher. He's definitely the definitive guy for it, and I am excited to see how he will continue on as Frank Castle and his work on crime.
All right, Carbs.
So I'm not I know about the Punisher character, but I mean he's not like one of my favorites. I just recognize him from the iconic scene. No. Wait. But I also saw him in like
that's where that was from.
Yeah, that was Punisher.
Yeah.
Oh, I feel dumb now. I've seen that meme everywhere. I just didn't think. Wait, where is this from? It's from Punisher.
Yep. But yeah, it's cool that the Punisher's getting his on his own show again. But with the context now of like Daredevil, I think it's going to be Pretty good show. I might look into it. I think the Punisher might be a little bit more interesting than the Daredevil show. And also like a show that I might watch with my dad. I'm not entirely sure. But yeah, it's cool that we get to see more of Frank Castle in the MCU. I mean, considering this is now going to be part of the MCU, it's going to be pretty cool. So excited and can't wait to see.
Vince?
To be honest, I'm not really connected with the Punisher character, but I really don't have an opinion about this for me personally. So that's my take on it.
All right. Well, that's it for the MCU Phase 6. Honestly, there's a there's a lot there's a lot we know and we don't know about the Phase 6, but man, it's gonna be interesting to see how the future holds for this universe. Honestly, for all we know, Doom might not be the end all to be all, because there's
Yep.
because even though Doom is very powerful, there are slightly more powerful villains than Doom.
Not even just with the
Yeah.
power scaling stuff. They're definitely not going to keep making more movies. They
Yeah.
already said they have the entire next saga planned out,
Yep. The next
which is
saga.
all going to be X-Men stuff, guys.
I do hope the next villain for I do hope the next big bad is Annihilus. I want to see him on the big screen. That
I want to see Mr. Sinister.
that guy is an Avenger. I don't know about you guys. That guy is an Avengers level threat.
That's why they're putting him in the new video game.
Yep. And how about you, RevinEvan? You said Mr. Sinister, right?
Yeah. I just think he'd be a cool villain to have for an X-Men project, and I'm surprised he hasn't shown up in one yet.
Brandon?
Yeah, I'm excited to see how this plays out for the future of the MCU. And yeah, more mutants would be fun.
Carbs?
Honestly, I don't even know what they can do after Doctor Who. Maybe they can reintroduce Kang into the MCU, but considering what's going on, and I mean, honestly, because there's a lot of things in the MCU that are like threads hanging because of Kang. So if they do want to, they could reintroduce him back in the MCU as the next big bad after Doctor Doom.
Honestly, I feel no, they're not going to do that. I'm pretty sure one of the first big scenes we get of Doom is just him randomly killing King variants.
Yeah, maybe. But we never know. But if I would have to say that they could introduce another villain into the MCU, maybe. Oh, this may be like not even close to what could happen. But maybe Null can finally, make it to being like a villain in the MCU.
You really think you want us to? You really think you want to remind us of Last Dance?
I just want more. I just want the symbiote on Spider-Man, man. I want to take what I can get.
All right, Vince?
I'm excited for the MCU. Yeah, just looking forward to what the future holds. Pretty optimistic for me personally. But yeah, it's my opinion.
All right, well, that is it. That is it for today's video. And I'll put the link in the description for where you can find these people. Starting with RevinEvan, where can people find you?
On my YouTube, I barely end up. I cannot talk today. It's just I have a YouTube channel. I sometimes upload there. I haven't in a couple months because of school stuff.
All right, Carbs.
That's pretty much all I got. I don't know. I don't have that many connections.
All right, Carbs, where can people find you?
Yeah, you can find me on Instagram at ERCKY05. I don't really post that much, but I do keep like my story updated. But yeah, that's where you can find me. That's the only social media I actively use. I don't have Twitter. I don't have anything else. Or you can just add me on Discord.
Good.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I do have a Discord.
Vince, where can people find you?
Mostly on Instagram. Vincent N17. That's my username. for Instagram. So you can find me there. Yeah.
And Brandon doesn't have any social media accounts. Is that right?
Yeah, I don't have any social media to speak of. I
Honestly,
try
good
to
for
keep
you.
my personal life kind of quiet. So I am always happy to come on here and speak whenever. So yeah.
And as for me, you can find me on Instagram, description down below. This is Namikon. I'll see you all next time.